Hi everyone, this is Amy from the Helms Academy, and today we're doing our Math Roundtable recap from June 25th, 2020. So let's review our steps for solving a word problem. First, we're going to highlight or underline or identify that important information. What are the numbers and the operations that we want to know? Then we need to determine any operations that might not be explicitly said. So paying attention to the words and the processes to pick out, do we add, subtract, multiply, divide? Then we want to write out the problem using numbers and operations. So it transforms from a word problem into a number problem or a number sentence. And then we can solve. Okay, so here's word problem number 1. We'll do 4 total problems today. Ben's age is 1 less than twice Sherry's age. The sum of their ages is 104. How old is Sherry? And you can see we have 4 multiple choice options. So let's take this apart. First, let's identify the important information in here. We know that we can figure out Ben's age if we know Sherry's age, because his age is 1 less than twice. So when I see 1 less, I think minus 1. And when I see twice, I see times 2. Okay, so that's how we're going to figure out Sherry's age. If we know what Ben's age, that's how we're going to figure out Ben's age. If we know Sherry's age, then we can use Sherry's age to multiply it by 2 twice and take away 1 less. And that will give us Ben's age. The sum of their ages is 104. So sum is addition, right? And the 104 is the total number of the 2 ages combined. So if I look at this, I'm going to put it all together in a number sentence. So I need to add Sherry's age and Ben's age. Well, I don't know what either of them are, but I could put Sherry's age as the letter S. Okay, so I'll start with the letter S, and then I'll put a plus sign because we need a sum. How I'm going to find out Ben's age is using Sherry's age. So what I've done is I did twice Sherry's age, 2s, and 1 less, minus 1. And I put all that in parentheses because all that together is going to tell us Ben's age. So now with these symbols and these letters, we can have Sherry's age and Ben's age added together to equal 104. Now, if I look at my options, I see the numbers 52, 36, 69, and 35. Right away, I'm thinking, okay, I have to have the first number, this Sherry's age, and then I have to add it to itself times 2. So if I think about that with just rounding to 50, right? 50 plus 50 times 2, that's 150. That's way too high. So I already know that A and C are not going to be good options. So it will come down to which of the other 2 options fit in our equation. And what I can do is just plug those options into the equation and see which one works. So you can see below, I could do 36 plus 2 times 36 minus 1, or 35 plus 2 times 35 minus 1. And one of those should equal 104. If you plug those in and take a look at the answers, the final answer is 35. All right, for our second word problem, this one says, George worked from 7 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. with a 45-minute break. If George earns $10.50 per hour and does not get paid for his breaks, how much will he earn? Round to the nearest cent. So I'm going to pull out the important information. How long did he work? How long was the break? And how much was he getting paid per hour? So first I need to figure out how many hours he worked. So 7 to 3:30, and I apologize, it looks like minus, but I'm just saying that time frame from 7 a.m. to 3:30 is 8.5 hours. So if I take that 8.5 and I subtract the break out of it, you'll see I wrote there 8.5 minus 0.75. That's because it's easier to work with this if I'm doing it all in hours, and this says 45 minutes. So I know that 15 minutes is 1/4 of an hour. 30 minutes is half of an hour, which means that 45 minutes is 3/4 of an hour, or in decimal form, 0.75. So I'm going to subtract 0.75 so I can get 7.75 hours. Now to get how much he has earned, I just have to multiply how many hours and how much per hour. So I have 7.75 times 10.50, or just 10.5 is fine. And the number comes out to 81.375. Now, if I need to round this to the nearest cent, which would be the second decimal place over the hundredth, I would do 375. So I see that 5 there is going to round the 7 up. So it's 81.38, or $81.38. Word problem 3 says, Kim is a medical supplies salesperson. Each month she receives a 5% commission on all her sales of medical supplies up to $20,000 and 8.5% on her total sales over $20,000. Her total commission for May was $3,975. What were her sales for the month of May? This one has a lot of information and it has a number of steps. So let's take a look. We're going to identify the important information first. We have 5%, we have 20,000, or up to 20,000, I should say. We have 8.5% and sales over 20,000, and we have the total amount of commission that she earned. All of these are going to play a key part in how we solve this type of problem. So my first question is, did she even sell up to 20,000? We need to know that first. So to find that out, I'm going to find out what the commission would be if she sold all 20,000. So I did 0.05, which is the decimal form of 5%, times 20,000. And that'll tell me what the commission earned from the first 20,000 worth of sales would be. And it's $1,000. Now, she earned way more than that. She earned $3,975, which means that all the rest of that money, that $2,975, was commission earned from sales over and above the $20,000. You'll see that I put a little letter S next to that in the blue writing on the second line, and that's because we're going to use that S as a variable to show the sales over $20,000. Now, if I want to know how much she sold over $20,000, I have to do a little equation, and you'll see that on the next line. I know that she earned $2,975 worth of commission just on the sales over $20,000, which means that S, which are the sales, if we multiply that by the percentage that she gets for her commission, which is 8.5%, or in decimal form, 0.085, that will be equal to $2,975. This is what we need to figure out what her sales were above that $20,000, keeping in mind that we already had the $20,000 down. So what we have to do to solve this is just the opposite. If we have S times 0.085, we need to do the opposite of multiplication, which is division. So if I divide both sides, I will cancel out the 0.085 on the left side of the equation. And on the right side, I'll have 2,975 divided by 0.085. And with that, we get $35,000. So this means that her sales above 20,000 were $35,000. Now, when we're answering this question, be careful. Some test answers might try to trick you and give you the answer $35,000 on the options, but that's not her sales for the total month of May. Don't forget about that other 20,000 that she sold. So total, we'll have $55,000. For word problem 4, we'll see this. Carly received X dollars each hour she spent mowing lawns. She mowed for a total of 8 hours, and then she gave half of the money to a friend who had stopped by to help her for the day. How much money did Carly have after she had paid her friend? So to solve this, I need to look at my variables, X and H, and I also need to know that she gave away half the money. Now, to figure this out, we just need to multiply the hours times the dollars to figure out how much money she has. And then since she gave half of it away, we need to divide it by 2 people, or divide it by 2. So if we put all of that information together, the X, the H, and the divided by 2, we come out with answer A. Thank you so much for joining me today for this Math Roundtable recap. You can check out the Helms Academy by subscribing to our YouTube channel, by looking at the Helms Academy on Instagram or on Facebook, or by checking us out at helmsacademy.org.